are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
Our stories from our studio to your ear. It's the Beyond Swanky podcast.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Of course, guys, this is a little different. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting show. This is the Beyond Swanky podcast, and I had to sing for you guys because this podcast is a little bit different, guys. This is the first ever episode to where we are recording. Now, let me break it down to you guys. We've got T's here, Monica's here, James, I see you over there. You're here in the studio. Welcome back to the studio of Swanky Studios. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a minute since we've been in the studio and we recorded some content. Yes, I missed you guys. I missed being in front of the camera. Of course, we've got my beautiful Canon G7X here today. And yes, today was a very good day. We technically kind of had a day off. It's weird. Like I say in yesterday's episode of the Beyond Swanky podcast, go check that out. The episode is titled Boy Toys versus Girl Toys. That was a great show, by the way. This one's a little bit different because this is the first time ever that we are in the studio and we're recording the Beyond Swanky podcast. I wanted to do this because I had a day off, right? Even though we uploaded our latest episode of Element Magazine, we talked about She Said, of course, as a Peacock film exclusive. Go check that out, by the way. If you haven't seen that movie is fantastic. Number one. Yes, this is different. We never filmed Beyond the Swanky podcast before. I wanted to give you guys some video content because we haven't done any video content here in the studio, me and us in the studio getting a podcast. Rest assured that K.L.P. Aftermath is coming back. We're actually getting ready. We're going to film or shoot that on Wednesday. So yeah, this schedule's been kind of weird. So like I say to all my viewers, my fans, bear with us. I'm sorry. My schedule's been kind of all over the place right now. It's going to be like that for the next coming of weeks, as I almost knocked over my microphone. Because we're getting ready for New York, right? So that schedule's a little bit, we have things planned out and we're getting ready to shut down for our trip. So hopefully you guys bear with me with that. And we're back doing podcasting, as you will, for sure. So we got to go on for you guys because Beyond the Swanky podcast, we have a story. We have quite a few stories that we're going to tell you guys and kind of express with you guys today here on today's episode. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And of course, we got to give it up to our sponsor. I'm contradicting myself a little bit in this episode because I do have a story. But our sponsor goes out to Floral Haven. Of course, if you guys don't know, my sister does have a floral business called Floral Haven XO. She's taking orders right now all the way up to Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys want to get your orders in, right? Get them orders in because Valentine's Day is around the corner. It's coming, guys. So if you want to give your special someone a special treat, a special arrangement, if you will, a special flower arrangement. Again, let me tell you a little bit about Floral Haven XO, made by D'Amber Patterson, my sister. This is not just a business where you go and buy flowers, right? Anybody can go out and just buy a generic flower. You can go to Kroger and buy flowers for $20 and then it dies after a couple of hours. No, what you're getting from Floral Haven XO, you're getting that good quality, number one, good quality flowers that's going to last your special someone for a very, very long time. And how the way she's arranged them, how the way she's treating them, how the way that she's watering them, how the way that she's packaging them with care and quality. That's what you're getting with Floral Haven. So that's why I'm recommending you guys go to Floral Haven XO and you order from them if you're looking for somebody to gift to Valentine's Day. Because again, it is around the corner. Like I say, it is around the corner and it's coming. So, guys, get those order in. D'Amber, if you're watching or listening to the podcast, special shout out to you as always for the show. Now, I talked about just my mic here, and this is what we do. We do things like this live because it was a day off, and honestly, I didn't know we were going to come to the studio and do a podcast. I didn't know. This was a last minute decision. I'm sorry. I'm thankful for my crew that's being around and they worked today. We worked, but then we had kind of a day off. Everybody had a day off because we just had to, right? So I talked about Valentine's Day, and this is what I said. Monica, of course, we got Monica in the studio. I'm kind of gonna contradict myself a little bit, right? I read because again in our day off, I went to the gym today, and of course I was getting a nice clang and bang session in there. It was very nice because it wasn't a lot of people at the gym today, which was great, right? I enjoy it when there's not a lot of people in the gym. Not saying that I don't like people, I love people, but right now I've been very cautious, right, T? We all know here in the studio, here at K.L.P Entertainment, and even in my offices, I've been very, very careful about where I'm at and in my environment. I'm wearing a mask simply because, thank God, I'm glad I don't have COVID, but I'm getting ready. We're getting ready for a big trip, New York City. So I make sure I don't get sick. That's the number one thing. I'm making sure that I don't get sick. So I wearing a mask. And I went to the Crunch Nailville. There was not really a lot of people, which was great because all the machines were available. Because again, Crunch Nailville, shout out to them because that's the hottest spot right now. That's the spot that you got to go to. So it feels good that I was able to go to the gym, relax, work out. There's not a lot of people. You guys see it a little bit. We getting it in. A lot of people there were not a lot of people there at the gym today, which was great. I had my protein in. I was clanging and banging. I ran into a good friend, Sam. Shout out to you, Sam. Guys, go follow Reconstructed by Sam, by the way, her very own gym. As always, a good friend of mine. Ran into her. We kicking it up. And then we got some things, speaking of me and Sam and other people that I've been talking to, where we this summer is going to be good for podcasting. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, right? But this summer, guys, just wait until season 6 of K.L.P Aftermath and season 3 of the Beyond Swanky podcast, right? It's going to be fire. It's going to be fire this summer. I'm having a lot of people come on the show this summer. It's going to be fun. And that's kind of a segue to my next segue. We'll get to that part in a minute because I do have an announcement regarding future podcasting. But I'm talking about Valentine's Day. I read on the treadmill, I was running, I was jogging, I was getting it in, and I read that Valentine's Day sales could top $2 billion, is what I said on the news. I think some of it might have been fabricated, T. Honestly, I really do. But I've read that, hey, $2 billion in Valentine's sale in the US. That is projected to reach that amount for Valentine's Day sale. You can think of flowers, you can think of food, you can think of restaurant that's included in that. You can probably, if you went to Jared, right? He went to Jared and he went to Kay and Zales, to get jewelry for your loved ones for Valentine's Day. I'm here for it. But I gotta say though, I do think, very loosely I say this, I just think Valentine's Day is kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's more of a sales kind of thing, right? I also feel that it's a fake holiday, right? Because it's not, it's a holiday, everybody recommend, but everybody has to be at work. Now, for us, we're going to be in New York City. So I hope that I psych myself out and I hope I prove myself wrong because, again, it's New York. You never know what's going to happen in New York on Valentine's Day, right? But I just think it's a fake holiday. I really do. I feel that it's good to gift your person, your loved one, special flowers on a special day, but I feel like a lot of people are not going to take Valentine's Day seriously, right? Things get expensive. Folks couldn't even afford anything for Christmas. So you can only imagine the limitations and the limitations when spending, as ESPN gives us our notification. Sorry, guys. I meant to turn that off. You gotta love ESPN though. Um, it's one of those things that I genuinely don't really celebrate that much because it's all about a sales thing, right? What am I gonna get my girl will I go take my girl out to eat? I feel like you don't have to wait until Valentine's Day to do that. Or maybe I'm different, right? Maybe I'm different in this game. I feel that you don't have to treat your girl on Valentine's Day. That's your prerogative. But like, you shouldn't wait until Valentine's Day, is what I'm saying. And I know a lot of dudes will wait until Valentine's Day to really pull out all the stops. You should pull out all the stops all the time. That's just my opinion. But I'm not gonna harp on people who celebrate Valentine's Day. Because it's one of those things that it happens, I really do hope that people do really good this Valentine's Day. Like I say, I know where I'll be on Valentine's Day. I won't even be in Atlanta on Valentine's Day. I can't wait for all the memes, right? I can't wait for the memes. I can't wait for the TikToks, right? I can't wait to see what people creatively are going to do, what jokes they're going to make for Valentine's Day. That's one thing that I am very, very hopeful for. So again, if you celebrate Valentine's Day, kudos to you. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people say, hey, baby, it's expensive to go out right now. We've got rent. How about I'll just take you to somewhere less expensive? Guys, if somebody takes you out and they're kind of corny with it, you guys got to understand that things are tight for some people, right? But we'll wait and see, right? I cannot wait to see for that as well. So I wanted to give out a congratulations, if you will. And I wanted to bring this congratulations and this announcements to this podcast that I listen to. And I know I've said on the show that we have to be careful about the name of the institution that we're affiliated with. You guys know we have to be kind of careful with that because we did get into a little bit of heat when it came down to that. So if you ever notice on the show lately, I say, yeah, we work for an institution, not going to name the name. We had to be careful with that because the Heat 94.6 and Swanky 93.3, we have to make sure that that's not affiliated with the institution that we also work with because marketing can go a little bit wrong and people might take it the wrong way. So we've been very lenient so far, but I gotta announce this announcement and just a congratulations. Because I'm always rooting for people that are starting in radio, right? That are starting in podcasting. I love doing this thing. It's fun. But I got to give it up to Ox Speaks. I do. Ox Speaks was is a podcast to which they are unofficial with the institution that we work with, but they have a podcast, right? And I listen to it. Most of their episodes are really, really good. I enjoy it. It's students telling their stories and how they feel, and it's appropriate because in their slogan, they're students, but they're not affiliated with this institution with their podcast, which that kind of falls into the fine line of free speech, right? So with the institution, they really can't really do anything to them if they now I wouldn't suggest disrespecting their institution or their professors or whatnot, but freedom of speech and right, and they have the right to kind of voice things on a podcast, right? That's just that fine line. So Ox Beats came back with another season. Congratulations to them. I'm here for it. I know they haven't reached out to us, but if they do, and I doubt that they will, but this is just kind of an announcement for them too. If they do reach out to me, I really can't do much to help them like I would love to, because of their name of their podcast, and they are being students. So because I had a lot of people ask me, why don't you help them out? I can't, right? I would love to, but I can't. So I can't wait to see what else they're talking about in this season, though. It's going to be fun. Now, speaking of podcasting this season, and the summer season, I know, guys, I'm jumping ahead. This is the Beyond Swanky podcast. I don't have a script for this show. This is just bonus content for you guys this week. This season is going to be extremely fun. I've been talking to a lot of businesses that we shouted out before. For an example, one of the business reconstructed by Sam. Sam, shout out to you again. She's going to come on the podcast in the summertime, and we're going to be in a different location when it comes to our podcast in this summer season. So that's why it's really, really fun, because not only we're going to be here in our studio, but we're branching out of our studio into different studio in Atlanta, and to give you guys more content. Is going to be filming, is going to be a lot of things. We do have this potentially new podcast lined out, a podcast that I am producing, and it's going to be good, right? I talked to the host, if you will. I'm not going to give the name of the host of the show quite just yet, because we still have to negotiate some things there. But potentially there's a new podcast that I'm producing that's coming out for the summer. Is going to be exciting for sure. So just stay tuned for that as well. Now, I wanted also to do the podcast today because I've got to review episode 3 of The Last of Us. Now, when I first saw The Last of Us, when I first saw the first episode of The Last of Us, I did a review. And you guys, because we see our stats on our shows, by the way. A lot of people, Monica, believe it or not, a lot of people enjoyed that episode when we first reviewed the first episode. So then you had the idea to review episode 2 on one of our shows, and people actually love our take, right? So here's what we're going to start doing. Since this show is such a great success, each episode I'm gonna try my very best to review each episode on a podcast, whether it's K.L.P. Aftermath or Beyond Swanky podcast. Now, I wanted to do this review, and I don't know if we're going to be doing a review for episode 4 because it comes out next Sunday, and then next Sunday we're shutting down. Not for good, but we're shutting down because that same week we're leaving for New York. So I feel that I'm going to make that executive decision to shut down news breaking, the podcast shows, article writing. Because we have to pack up our stuff, we have to get ready. So episode 3, this episode is titled Long Time, and I just gotta say that this show is just fantastic. They're going through a lot of great stuff when it comes down to this episode, and the series in general, and it's just so good. I'm blown away about how good of a success this show has become, and it really gets me excited because this is a IP that they are they're doing right. They're really enjoying making this series, and it's working and it's clicking, and a lot of people are watching it. IGN gave episode 3 a 10, right? Episode 3 that we're in, and they continue to have great scoring. So I get really, really excited for that. Nick Offerman, he's been in a lot of other great stuff. It was the origin, and episode 3 was the origin of Bill and Frank, right? Phenomenal, right? They change a lot, right? We all know that Bill dies in the video game, but he doesn't die how you've seen in the series, right? Spoiler alert to a lot of people. If you haven't seen episode 3, pause this podcast and go watch episode 3 of The Last of Us, because it's just that freaking good. So again, this was an origin story of Bill and Frank for the most part. You've got Murray Bartlett and Nick Offerman. They're the stars of the show, right? You're not gonna forget Ellie and Joel, right, in episode 3, but Frank and Bill was like the stars of episode 3. So it turns out that Bill, played by Nick Offerman, he finds a way to survive, right? He's finding a way to survive from the infected. He has a whole city blocked for just him. He has guns, he has weapons, he has food, he has security, right? But then Frank escapes from somewhere. He falls into the hole, right? Because they get Bill got a notification and an alarm, so he comes to, outside, sees the hole. Frank's in the hole, and of course, he feeds Frank, and then they play a piano. They fall in love, and as they fall in love, they become partners. Which I think this is an interesting take right now. Let me tell you how smart this move was, right? Because in the video game, we didn't know that Bill and Frank were lovers, right? They were just best friends, right? In the video game, they didn't give us any context of that. But in this series, I gotta say, in this series, you're definitely going to see them become lovers. More than friends, lovers, partners. Um, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic for sure. I think this is a smart move, right? Because we're in this society right now that, every not in almost every show, they're portraying characters who are in the LGBTQ community. So um I'm here for it. I'm here for it. They genuinely fall in love with each other. And of course, in this series, spoiler alert to a lot of people, if you haven't seen episode 3, I'm sorry. But Joel and Tess goes to Bill for some help, some equipment, and that's when you see how they met each other as friends, right? But then when you're going out for just friends, um, they're very Bill's very he's very protective of what's his, right? Because he's seen some things. But Frank is a little bit different, right? Frank wants friends. Frank wants to be out there and wants to live a little, right? Want to plant a garden. They plant a plant of strawberries. I thought that was a very nice scene when they're eating strawberries together because they haven't tasted fruit in a very long time because of the world shutdown, right? And there was kind of a moment there too towards the end of the episode where Ellie gets into the truck and she's like, wow, what is this? And in my mind's like, yeah, okay, so Ellie never been in a vehicle before, right? It's different to her. So like I say, that's throughout the whole episode, you get to see the story of Bill and Frank, how they become lovers, how they become old. Frank gets sick and then they die together. They're just truly in love with each other. They take care of each other. And you really get to see that. You really get to see in the episode of their fights, right? With every couple, when there's happy moments, there will be a fight, right? So I enjoy it. I'm here for it. That's why this made episode 3 just that special. Of course, towards the end of the episode, you have Joel and Ellie. They come to Bill's house. They leave a note that, of course, they died because they're old, right? They lived their life. They've lived it. They survived it. They have a whole town to themselves, and they became lovers. Bill says, hey, I'm satisfied. You are it. You have satisfied. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. For the video version, we just kind of skipped the cut, but we are doing the Beyond Swanky podcast. So with that, we promise our sponsor and our distribution that we do music as well with the Beyond Swanky podcast. That's the deal we had. So we're back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that music for sure. But like I was saying, they become lovers, right? Bill and Frank become lovers. And it's such a good episode. You just have to see episode 3 for yourself. And that's just kind of a tale. You kind of, when you're watching episode 3, and we're gonna move on, but when you're watching episode 3, you kind of forget it was the show The Last of Us, right? You would just think it's just a romantic love story is what you would take from episode 3. But then you kind of, when you see Joel or Ellie or Tess, you think, okay, yeah, this is The Last of Us, right? Episode 3, IGN gave it a 10. So guys, just go watch this series. It's so freaking good. They already got renewed for season 2 for HBO Max. Duh. Like I knew. I mean, if you a hot show, you getting like 10 out of 10 on every episode. Yeah, you best believe you getting renewed. So yeah, it's there, and it's exciting, man. It's Last of Us. I'm on that train. I am so on that train because it is an episode or a series that I genuinely enjoy. I can't wait to see episode 4. Like I say, I probably won't do a review of episode 4 next weekend when it comes out because again, we're going to be shutting it down, getting ready for New York. But so good. Now, this was another part of the show before we conclude our episode for today. Another episode of the show where, I like to talk, right? This is the Beyond Swanky podcast. Usually in K.L.P. Aftermath Tea, we have topics, we have a script, right? But with this show, we like to sit down and we like to just enjoy each other's company and just have a natural conversation, uh, for sure. And I saw this thing on TikTok where a lot of people would go out to these restaurants. And I gotta say, I haven't been to this restaurant in a long, long time. And we're talking about the restaurant of Golden Corral. Now, I saw a lot of people going out there. I know the guy that I don't know his, I forgot his name, but he goes like you gotta dip it with that cheesy, cheesy cheese. You know, that TikTok, he eats so nasty. Like, yeah, I'm sure that's just his TikTok, but it's a little weird to me. But I saw one TikTok where this girl went to Golden Corral. I think she was just doing like a vlog with her on TikTok, which, you know, she's very funny too. But it got me thinking, and I wanted to talk about it. The dynamics of Golden Corral. And there's a story to it, T, because I remember when I was a kid, my granddad would take us to Golden Corral after church. Now, I used to be a church goer. Now I'm a spiritual, so I don't go to church as often, right? Because I'm either working or I'm off or I'm doing something that I need to be doing. So it's been a second since I've been inside of a church. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe in God. I truly, absolutely believe in God. I just haven't been. God knows my heart. God knows my faith. I thank God each and every day. I do. But my granddad used to take us to Golden Corral after church every Sunday. And I remember when Golden Corral had this deal, whereas like you had to pretend to be like under 12 years old to get the great cost. So I remember my granddad would say, even if I'm 13, and I think I was of age when we went to Golden Corral. My granddad would always say, okay, yeah, well, you're 12 today. When we get in here, you're 12. Right? When you get in here, you're 9. Right? So that way we didn't have to pay so much. A lot of parents do that. I remember my uncle did it at this place. What was it? I think it was CC's or Stevie B's, one of them two. Hey, you're 10. Okay? When they ask, you're 10. So that way you didn't have to pay so much. And we just roll with it. Hey, sure. Okay. Because they were paying for food. So I ain't mad at it. But Golden Corral, I ain't gonna lie. Golden Corral used to be the spot, T. Right? Every Sunday we would go. All you can eat, dinner. They had a lot of food too. Dessert was my favorite. I used to get the ice cream with the M&Ms and the gummy bears and the nuts. Tell me that I used to do that back in the day and I was a fat kid, right? So now I can't eat that stuff like that. No, I can't. I know a lot of people do, right? I've seen students eat like crap. I'm like, yeah, I can't eat that. Fast food, I can't eat that. No, my health is just too important to me now. And then you get a certain age that you can't really eat like that. I know some adults who do eat like that, and you can tell that they're not going to make it, right? If you, and this is for my gentlemen, just a tidbit, if your stomach is above your manhood, you have to like lift it up to see it. Yeah, you overweight just a little bit. But anyway, and I say that because there's a lot of people our age, even older and younger, that eat like crap. And it's like, when you get older, you can't eat like that. And I'm not saying that I'm old, guys, because I'm only 26, but I know, yeah, I can't eat like that. Ice cream with candy and gummy bears and peanut. I can't eat like that. I'm sorry. Right? You see it right now. I'm posing for y'all right now. I'm trying to bulk up a little bit. I can't eat like that. I'm sorry. But when I was a kid, I did eat like that. Right? And I was a kid where I was an eater, right? We would eat. And that's what Golden Corral do. Hey, you're there to eat. I mean, they had chicken, ham, pork chop, macaroni, collard greens, seafood, Chinese food. They had a lot. They did. And I remember going to Golden Corral, and it used to be so good. We don't eat that space anymore, right? I remember because I don't think any of my siblings eat Golden Corral anymore. right? I never, like, when we go out, we wouldn't go to Golden Corral. We would go to, number one, with my friends, which is great. We would go to a spot that's of good quality, but we gonna pay for it, right? Lately, we went to I forgot the name of this spot in Atlanta. It was a Turkish spot because it was one of my friends' birthday. I think it was Muntie's birthday. And we went to that place. It was so good too. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it afterward because my car had got booted. So I didn't enjoy that part. But that place was good. It was a Turkish spot. It was so good. It was expensive now, but it was worth it because it was just that good. I am the type of person now, which I might cheat a little bit when we're in New York, but I'm the type of person where I'm the guy that I will pay some money for a good quality meal, right? I eat cheaply sometimes, but you're not going to catch me at a Golden Corral, right? You're not going to catch me at a Burger King or a Wendy's or a McDonald's. Not saying that those are terrible. McDonald's is really terrible for you, but I haven't been to McDonald's in what I have to say, maybe about 4 or 5 years from now, or years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, in 5 years, I haven't had McDonald's. I haven't went to Golden Corral in the last 10 years, right? Because I'm guessing I'm in this cycle where I know I can't eat like that. I know that I have to kind of watch what I'm putting in my body, right? I'm cooking a lot, right? In the last episode, we talked about cooking. I cook a lot. And I've learned how to cook and be more efficient with my cooking. So you never catch me in these type of scenarios where I need to go out and do fast food. Now, when I do go out and do fast food, I'm looking at the Chipotle's, the Zaxby's, the Chick-fil-A. Last year, I haven't had Taco Bell in a year. And let me tell you, that time I had Taco Bell was last year's trip in New York, where there was a Taco Bell and we got hungry. We stopped at the Taco Bell, had 3 hard shell tacos. And I'm like, and I was eating that. And my brother was like, dang, he's like, is it good, Lucas? I'm like, yeah, I haven't had Taco Bell in years. Right. We had Popeyes too in New York, and I was eating it like it was golden. You all right, Kennedy? Yeah, I just haven't had this in years, right? I've been cooking. I've been trying to eat healthy, so I haven't eaten fat like that, you know. But Golden Corral, I haven't been in 10 years to eat, simply because COVID. I don't know. I'm not harping on Golden Corral Company. I don't know how they're sanitizing, but you gotta imagine, when you go in and Golden Corral, you're at a buffet, right? I haven't been in a buffet in the last 4 years because buffets are fattening and we had to watch what we eat. And now COVID came around, right? Doesn't matter. I don't trust people. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show today, I'm wearing a mask when I'm going out now to make sure I don't catch anything, because a lot of people will leave their homes, right? They'll leave their homes and say, hey, I don't have COVID, but it turns out you had COVID. And now you're at Golden Corral, you're touching all over the food with your sickness, right? So that's why I haven't been going to Golden Corral, because food is laid out there and people coughing, hackling, touching. Bacteria. You can only imagine, folks. You can only imagine it. So when I saw that girl's TikTok, I'm like, ooh, I hope she's careful with it, right? A lot of food is just open. Again, I've seen it where students there, and I hear it too, they're sneezing and coughing. Oh, hell nah, where's my mask? And some of these coughs I'm hearing, like mucus is in their chest. I'm like, oh shit, where my mask at? Let me. But the end of the story, yes, I haven't been to Golden Corral in a couple years. Will I go to Golden Corral? Probably not, because of COVID guidelines now. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, how do you know that the cooks or the servers at these other restaurants that I go to, how do I know that they're not sick and they're preparing the food in the back? Yeah, that's a good observation. But I'm sure, and I pray and I hope that a lot of managers are watching people and saying, hey, if you're sick, do not come into the office, right? Do not come to work today at Zaxby's if you're sick and coughing and literally dying. Stay at home, right? Just one of those things, guys. It does happen. So I do say be careful if you do go to Golden Corral, but I haven't been to Golden Corral in 10 years. I don't have any desire to go to Golden Corral in the future. I'm the guy, again, like I say, I'm the guy who goes to expensive restaurants. Now, I'm not saying I'm big balling. That's not what I'm saying, right? Before people get on my case, I just, my taste buds have changed. I've been more aware of what I'm putting in my body. Like how many calories is this food? How much protein is in this food? Is there any sugars or trans fat in this that I need to be aware of? Okay, so if I eat this fat, I know tomorrow I need to go to the gym and work it off, right? I've been more aware, right? And I feel like we have to be more aware of what we're putting in our bodies, because as we all get older, and I'm talking to a lot of my peers, friends, families, whoever, and I have a lot of family who's starting to work out, by the way. So I ain't talking to y'all, right? Some of my family members, friend members, they are working out. They're telling me, hey, I'm trying to get like you, Kennedy. I'm back in the gym. Congratulations, because this is really fun. But to a lot of people that I follow that are either overweight or just not, they're eating like crap and they don't care. Yes, you're going to have to care when you get older. You got to be aware of what you're putting in your body, because as you get older, right, you can't eat like that. Health is wealth. You cannot eat like garbage and think you're going to be in the top tier shape, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm a bodybuilder. I'm super swole. No, I'm far from it, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. And I've been just more aware of what I'm eating. Right? A lot of people don't eat vegetables, right? I love vegetables. Corn, collard greens, spinach, cucumber. I eat a lot of salads nowadays. I do. Even though I eat pasta, right? But it's just kind of that common balance there. I'm drinking water, right? Any chance I get, let me get some water in me, right? To stay hydrated. That's there's another thing that helps you when you're wanting to lose weight and stay slim. Water, not soda. I can't remember the last time I drank soda, like a Coca-Cola or a Sprite. That's occasion. I'm either water or maybe a little bit of juice, right? On occasion, juice, but water, right? It's just one of those things that we just got to be aware of, what we're putting in our bodies. So, like I said, I haven't been to Golden Corral in a very, very long time. So I don't really have a desire to go to a Golden Corral, but kudos to the people who still eat that. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, the Beyond Swanky podcast. Again, guys, get your orders in at floralhavenxo.com. Right now, Deanna Patterson, she's getting ready for Valentine's Day. She has started to take orders. So if you guys want to get your orders in right now, Valentine's Day is around the corner. Today's the 31st. Tomorrow will be the 1st of the month in February. So do not delay on your Valentine's Day if you want to get your special someone a special gift. Floral Haven, she has you covered. Deanna Patterson, she has you covered. So don't miss out on that as well. So that's going to wrap it up here on the Beyond Swanky podcast. As always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky. Peace.